Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sireesha, and today we're going to be doing a vigorous vinyasa flow with the intention of finding the balance between effort and ease. This intention comes to us from one of the foundational texts of yoga called the Yoga Sutras. One of the lines in the Yoga Sutras says, sthira, sukha, asanam. And this is in Sanskrit. Translating it into English, it roughly means that our poses, our postures, the seats that we take should be a balance between effort and ease, strength and softness. And that's what we'll be working with as we move on our mat. And hopefully you can carry this intention with you throughout the rest of your day. You won't need anything for this practice, but if you've got some tension or tightness in the back body, you can grab a block or a couple of books to help bring that mat closer to you. So let's go ahead and get started.
So we're going to start off our practice right away in a standing position. So you'll come to the top of your mat and you'll separate your feet about hips width distance apart, which is just 2 fists between your feet. And you can go ahead and measure that out if you'd like to. And on an inhale, roll your shoulders up towards your ears. Exhale, soften them down by your sides so that you start to feel this opening sensation across the front of your chest. Press down into your feet. Bring a gentle micro bend into your knees. Close your eyes down. And turn your palms towards the front of the mat as well. So your palms are open, facing the same direction as your body. And you can always open your eyes or soften your gaze downward if that feels better for you. And we're already in our first pose of class, mountain pose or Tadasana. So as you press into your feet, notice if your weight is more in the heels or the balls of your feet. And you might even shift forwards and backwards and side to side to kind of even out your weight in the four corners of your feet. You might wiggle your toes and set them back down. And from that rooting sensation of your feet pressing into your mat and towards the ground below you, feel the muscles of your legs firm up around the bones. Feel your torso start to engage by drawing your navel in towards your spine. Feel your spine grow tall, the crown of your head reach up toward the ceiling, and just pause here, noticing your body taking up space. Giving yourself permission to arrive here and now, at the top of your mat in this empowering mountain pose. Take a deep inhale through your nose and exhale it out to your mouth. Slowly blink open your eyes, lift your gaze, and on an inhale, we'll sweep the hands up toward the ceiling, maybe shifting your gaze up. Exhale, we're going to fold it forward, diving down. We're going to hang out here in our forward fold. And so you can bend your knees a lot here so that your fingertips can start to touch the ground below you. And you might pedal it out here, bending one knee and then the other. You might nod the head yes, you might shake the head no. And then we're going to pause here in our forward fold and allow your torso to rest onto the tops of your thighs, folding forward even more here. If it feels right for you, you can grab opposite elbows, maybe take your hands to the nape of your neck. If you feel like moving, you might sway here from side to side. And then we'll slowly release the hands back down towards the ground. And on an inhale, we'll lift up halfway, long spine, hands coming towards your shins, or if you need more support, towards the tops of your thighs. And as you exhale, we'll fold it forward again. Press down into your feet. Inhale, rise up nice and slow, reaching your hands up toward the ceiling. As you exhale, cactus your arms here. Bend at the elbows, open up across your chest. Inhale, reach your hands back up toward the ceiling. As you exhale, bring your right hand down to your side. Inhale to lengthen up. Exhale to lean over towards your right. Plugging your left shoulder in towards your ear, draw your navel in. Press into both feet evenly, finding a half moon pose, a standing half moon pose here. Inhale to reach both hands back up toward the ceiling. Exhale, bring your left hand down by your side. Inhale, lengthen up, grow tall. Exhale, lean over towards the left. Draw your right shoulder away from your ear. Plug into your feet. Draw your navel in. On an inhale, come back through center. Reach both hands up. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Think long spine. Exhale to fold. So we're going to pause here in our forward fold. And we're going to bring that left hand towards the center of your mat. So kind of right underneath your left shoulder. And we're going to start to bend into that left knee and straighten through that right leg to turn this into a twist. So taking your right hand to your hip, think about lengthening your spine, the crown of your head towards the front of your mat. And you can stay here or open it up, reaching that right hand up toward the ceiling, maybe shifting your gaze upward as well. Slowly release this work, bringing your right hand down to the mat. Your right hand's going to stay down. You're going to bend into that right knee, straighten through your left leg a little or a lot. Again, option to take your left hand to your left hip first to lengthen through your spine, crown of your head reaching forward, and then start to twist. And maybe this is where you hang out. This can be a lot here, so you can just stay here, or you can think about opening it up, reaching your left hand towards the ceiling, turning your torso towards the left. Breathing here. As you exhale, bring your left hand back down to the mat. Find your forward fold again. Inhale to lift up halfway. Think long spine. Exhale to fold. Press down into your feet. Inhale, rise up. Reach your hands all the way up toward the ceiling. As you exhale, take your left hand forward, right hand back behind you, opening out for a twist. Inhale, sweep both hands up toward the ceiling. Exhale, right hand forward, left hand back. Inhale, both hands come up. Exhale, left hand forward, right hand back. Inhale, come up through center. Exhale, open it out to the left, right hand forward, left hand back. One more time like this on each side, keeping your feet plugged in, finding that subtle core engagement here as you breathe. We're going to come back through center. As you exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, lift up halfway, long spine. Exhale to fold. Plant your hands and step back to your plank pose, top of a push-up. Press down into your feet. Inhale, draw your torso in towards your spine. Lengthen out here, shoulders over wrists here for 3. Find your breath here for 2. Embrace the shakes for 1. As you exhale, lower your knees down, untuck your toes, and then lower your chest and chin down so that just your seat is up towards the ceiling, and then you'll pull yourself through onto your belly. Press down into the tops of your toes, into the tops of your feet, and on an inhale, lift up, cobra pose, any amount, drawing your shoulders away from your ears, firming up through your core. Exhale to lower down. One more cobra pose like that. Inhale, press into your feet, lift up, firm up through your core, through your back muscles, shoulder blades gathering together on your back, shift your gaze forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale to press up through hands and knees, and we're going to find a child's pose here. So a couple of options. Big toes can come together, knees apart, or knees can be closer together to work more into the low back. Knees apart will work more into the hips. So picking the variation that serves you today, you'll walk your hands forward and bow your forehead towards the ground. Noticing the effects of the movement. Maybe some heat is building in your body. Maybe you still need more work. And if you need a little more heat, you can start to turn on your Ujjayi breath here. Your victorious breathing, pranayama practice of kind of cleansing the body, creating tapas or heat, a cleansing sort of heat. And by creating a valve at the back of your throat, take an inhale here, full exhale here. And on an inhale, we'll press up through hands and knees. Press into your palms, and we're going to send that right leg back behind you. Flex your right toes towards your shin, fire up through your core. Stay here, or for more, reach your left hand towards the front of your room. Now notice if you're sinking down into your joints and really firm up here, drawing your spine toward the ceiling. As you exhale, draw your elbow and knee towards each other underneath you. Inhale, reach and stretch it out. 2 more times like this. Exhale, round and draw it in. Inhale, reach and stretch it out. Last one. Exhale, round it in. Inhale, reach and stretch it out for 3. Flex your toes towards your shins here for 2. Last one. Bring your left hand down to your mat and step your right foot up in between your hands. Press down into your legs, your foundation, and as you inhale, we're going to start to rise up for low lunge or Anjaneyasana. Maybe you pause, hands at the top of your thigh, and then when you're ready, you can send your hands up toward the ceiling. Now notice where your right knee and right ankle are in space. And if you think that you need more space to send your hips forward, go ahead and heel toe your toes towards the top edge of your mat so that you have more room and so that your knee is not going past your ankle. Draw your navel in towards your spine here. Take an inhale here. Exhale, cactus the arms here. Open up across your chest. Lift your gaze. Inhale, reach your hands up toward the ceiling. Exhale, bring your hands down to frame your front foot. Send your right leg back behind you again, so you're back in your three-legged tabletop position. We're going to tuck the back toes and send that right leg up toward the sky, toward the ceiling here. Now notice if you're opening up through that right hip, dial your right hip down in line with your left. Firm up through your core. We're in our first three-legged dog. You might roll that right ankle, crack the right toes, and then bring your right foot down to meet your left. Take up space here, adjust through your downward facing dog. And again, you might pedal the right knee, pedal the left knee, shifting your gaze in between each side, your left side, your right side. You might nod the head yes, you might shake the head no. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale it out through your mouth. Press into your palms to send your seat even higher up toward the ceiling so your spine is long, knees are bent, heels can be as far away from the ground as you need. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale it out through your nose. We'll slowly bring the knees back down towards the mat and reset up for your tabletop position. So wrists are going to come underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Bring the weight of your body into your palms and that right knee. And we're going to send that left leg back behind you. Flex your left toes towards your shin. Dial your left hip down in line with your right. Firm it through your core. Stay here. Or for more, reach that right hand towards the front of the room. Now again, notice if you're dumping down into your joints, find that engagement through your muscles. Send your spine up toward the ceiling. As you exhale, knee and elbow come together underneath you. Inhale, reach and stretch. 2 more times like this. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale to reach. Last one, exhale to draw it in. Inhale to reach and stretch it out for 3. Fire up your breath here for 2. Last one. Bring your right hand onto the mat and step your left foot up in between your hands. Press down into your feet, square off your hips, and inhale, start to come up for your low lunge. Maybe you pause, hands at the top of your thigh, before sending your hands up toward the ceiling for your Anjaneyasana or low lunge. Now again, noticing if you do really feel the need to turn this into a back bend, you can start to heel toe your toes towards the top edge of your mat so that you can send your hips forward, but keeping that knee over ankle engagement here. Take an inhale here. Exhale, cactus the arms here, bend at the elbows, open up across your chest. Inhale, reach both hands up toward the ceiling. Exhale, bring your hands down to frame your front foot and send your left leg back behind you. Tuck your back toes, lift your knee off the mat, find your three-legged dog one more time. Again, now my mat is a little rubbery, so it's going to make some noises, squeaky noises here. But you're thinking about dialing that left hip down in line with your right. You might roll your left ankle, crack your left toes, and then we'll bring that left foot down to meet the right, adjusting your stance as you need to, finding your downward facing dog. Take 1 round of breath here. And on an inhale, we'll come onto the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, shift your gaze forward, and then walk your feet up to meet your hands, finding your forward fold at the top of your mat. On an inhale, lift up halfway, long spine. Exhale to fold. Press down into your feet. Inhale, rise up. Reach your hands all the way up toward the ceiling. Exhale, bring your hands together in front of your heart center and down by your sides. Good. On an inhale, sweep your hands up toward the ceiling. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale to fold. Plant your hands, step back to your plank pose, top of a push-up. Inhale here. Exhale to lower knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, pull yourself through. Exhale, stay low. Inhale, come up, cobra pose. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, press up through hands and knees. Tuck your toes and send your hips up and back, finding your downward facing dog. We're going to go through 2 more rounds of sun salutation A like that. You can move at your own pace. I'll continue to guide you, but this is your practice, so take what you need and leave the rest. When you're ready, inhale, come onto your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, shift your gaze forward, and walk your feet up to meet your hands. Inhale to lift up halfway, long spine. Exhale to fold. Press down into your feet. Inhale, rise up, reach your hands all the way up toward the ceiling. Exhale, fold it forward, diving back down. Inhale, lift up halfway, long spine. Exhale to fold. Plant your hands, step back to your plank pose. Take an inhale here. Exhale to lower all the way or halfway down if you are ready. Inhale to come up for cobra pose or upward facing dog. Exhale to make your way back to your downward facing dog. Take 1 round of breath here. Good. Inhale, come onto your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, shift your gaze forward, and walk your feet up to meet your hands, finding your forward fold. Inhale to lift up halfway, long spine. Exhale to fold. Press down into your feet. Inhale, rise up, reach your hands all the way up toward the ceiling. Exhale, fold it forward, diving back down. Last round, inhale, lift up halfway, long spine. Exhale to fold. Plant your hands, step back to your plank pose, and move through your vinyasa. Taking what you need, cobra pose or upward facing dog. And we're going to meet in our downward facing dog. Feeling that heat building in your body, finding your breath. Good. On an inhale, sweep your right leg up and back behind you. As you exhale, draw your knee in towards your nose, shift forward nice and slow. Inhale, sweep your right leg up and back behind you. One more time like that. Exhale, draw your knee in towards your nose, shift forward, and step your right foot up in between your hands. Press down into your feet. Inhale, start to rise up. Take your time. High lunge. So you can pause, hands at the top of your thigh, and then when you're ready, sweep your hands up toward the ceiling. Soften your shoulders down away from your ears. Breathe here. Noticing that engagement, wrapping the muscles of your legs around the bones, firming up here. Draw your navel in. And as you firm, where can you soften? In asana practice, in our yoga poses, there should be a fierceness, a stiffness, a engagement, but there should also be a little bit of ease, a little bit of softness. So where can you find that balance? Take a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale it out through your mouth. Take an inhale here. Exhale, lean forward, take your arms past your body. Inhale, sweep your hands back up toward the ceiling. 2 more times like this. Exhale, lean forward, take your arms past your body. Last round, take an inhale, reach your hands up. Exhale, lean forward, arms come past your body. And now we're going to experiment with our warrior 3 pose. So taking as many hops as you need to lift your toes off the mat, flex your toes towards your shin, draw your shoulders down away from your ears here for 3. Press into your right foot for 2. Embrace the wobbles for 1. And now we're going to bring the hands to the hips and draw that left knee forward. Nice and slow. If you've got to tap down, so that your left toes are lifted. You're flexing your left toes towards your shin. You're making this L shape here, still on that right foot. Puff up through your chest, lengthen up through your spine. And then we're going to cross that left ankle at your right knee and sink down. Maybe hands come together in front of your heart center. And you can stay super high here, but just a gentle bend in that right knee so that you can start to turn that hip on your right side. Take an inhale here. Exhale here. Inhale to lift up, reach that left knee high, and then set your left foot down next to your right. You can roll out that right foot. You can roll out the ankle, crack the toes. On an inhale, sweep your hands up towards the ceiling. Exhale, sink down into your chair pose. So a different approach here. You can have your hands up towards your ears, up towards the ceiling, or you can bend the elbows if you've got any shoulder tension, goodness. Or you can bring your hands together in front of your heart center. Feet can be hips width distance apart, just like how we started off our practice. Or you can start to bring your feet closer together, big toes together, slight gap between the heels. Sink a little bit lower. Notice your breath here. Maybe you need to exhale out through your mouth. Take an inhale here. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale to lift up halfway, long spine. Exhale to fold. Plant your hands and step back to your plank pose, moving through your flow, lowering halfway down or all the way down. Inhaling to come up for your cobra pose or upward facing dog. Exhale to make your way back to your downward facing dog. Always an option to skip those flows and just meet in downward facing dog or take a child's pose if you need the break. And then we're going to come to the second side. So on an inhale, sweep your left leg up and back behind you. As you exhale, draw your left knee in towards your nose, shift forward. Inhale, sweep your left leg up and back behind you. One more time like that. Exhale, draw your knee in towards your nose, shift forward, and step your left foot up in between your hands. Rooting down into your feet, start to get ready to rise up. Rooting to rise, finding your high lunge. Maybe you pause, hands at the top of your thigh, before finding your steady stance. Rooting down into that left sole of your foot, the right toes and ball of your feet, and reaching your hands up toward the ceiling. Softening through your shoulders again, remembering asana poses are supposed to have that balance of strength and ease. So where can you bring softness and firmness in your pose here? Find your breath. Take one more round of breath here, firming up through your muscles, softening through your shoulders and your face. Inhale here. Exhale, lean forward, arms come past your body. Inhale, sweep your hands back up. 2 more times like this. Exhale, lean forward, arms come past your body. Inhale, sweep your hands back up. Last one, exhale, lean forward, arms come past your body. And now we're going to take as many hops as we need to find our warrior 3 pose. Flexing your right toes towards your shin, keeping that left hip in line with your right. Think cobra pose in your back body. Maybe you're in more of a diagonal shape. Breathing here for 3. Noticing the wobbles here for 2. Remembering your strength here for 1. We'll bring the hands to the hips and draw that right knee forward, tapping down if you need to tap down, so that you're standing on one leg, that same leg, the left leg, but you're flexing your right toes towards your shin. You're making this L shape here. Notice your breath. Puff up through your chest, find length. And then we're going to cross that right ankle at the left knee and sink into our chair pose. Hands can stay at the hip or they can come towards the heart center. Again, that bend in the left knee does not have to be super deep. Fixing your gaze on something that's not moving on the floor or the wall in front of you. Take one more round of breath here. Good. Inhale, come back up. Lift that right knee up and set your right foot down to meet your left. Roll out that left ankle, shake out the foot, roll out the shoulders, shake out the hands. Let go of whatever just happened on that side. Inhale, sweep your hands up toward the ceiling. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale to lift up halfway, think long spine. Exhale to fold. Preparing for your chair pose here. Again, 2 options. Feet can be hips width distance apart, or big toes can come together, slight gap between the heels. Bend your knees so your torso is resting on the tops of your thighs, and as you inhale, peel your torso up. Exhale, sink your seat. We'll all bring hands together in front of heart center. Sink a little bit lower. Now fire up your breath here. Draw your navel in. Find some softness, even in this fierce pose. Take an inhale here. Exhale, turn towards the right. And if it feels better, you can always open your arms out. Inhale, come back through center. Reach both hands up. Why don't we go ahead and reach both hands up here? As you exhale, open it out to the left, just like how we did when we were standing. Right hand forward, left hand back. Inhale up through center. Exhale, left hand forward, right hand back. Open out to the right. Inhale up through center. Exhale, right hand forward, left hand back. I know your quads are burning. Inhale up through center. Last round on each side. Exhale, open it out to the right. Inhale up through center. Exhale, open it out to the left. Inhale up through center. Exhale, fold it forward. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale, let it go. You can pedal it out here, bending one knee and then the other. You can nod the head yes, shake the head no. Thanking your quads for being as strong and fierce as they are right now in this moment. Inhale, lift up halfway, long spine. Exhale to fold. Plant your hands. Step back to your downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale it out through your mouth. Feeling that heat moving through your body, knowing that it's a sign of your strength. We're going to go through one more flow before taking rest here. So on an inhale, reach your right leg up and back behind you. Bend your knees, stack your hips here, opening up. You can draw circles with that right ankle or that right knee, finding some movement in the hips. And then we'll straighten that right leg square off the hips. And as you exhale, step that right foot through for your lunge. We're going to spin that back heel down so that your left toes are pointing at a 45-degree angle to the top left corner of your mat. And we're going to find a warrior two pose. So taking your time to open this up. Your left hand's going to reach towards the back of your space. Your right hand's going to reach towards the front. Soften through your shoulders here. And think about opening up through your right hip. So the pinky toe side, your right knee is reaching towards the pinky toe side of your right foot. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale it out through your mouth. Flip your front palm up. Exhale, reverse warrior, tipping it back. Left hand to the back of your left thigh, or maybe you wrap it around your low back for a half bind. Keep that front knee bent. Breathe into your right side body. Inhale, come back to your warrior two. Exhale, find your side angle pose. So right forearm to the top of your right thigh, left hand up toward the ceiling or over the ear towards the top of your mat. Press into your feet. Breathe here. Inhale, come back to your warrior two. As you exhale, windmill your hands down to frame your front foot spinning onto your back toes. You're in your old friend low lunge. From here, we're going to step that left foot up to meet your right. You're in your forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, long spine. Exhale to fold. Preparing for your chair pose. When you're ready, inhale, peel your torso up. Exhale, sink your seat. Gather your hands together in front of your heart center. Lengthen up through your spine. Exhale, turn towards the right. Now you can stay up high, or maybe you bring that left knee and the left elbow in between your knees, or maybe you hook that left elbow on the outside of your right knee. If you've got a hook or the elbow in between the knees, think about reaching your sternum towards your thumbs to open up more through your torso. Now, wherever you are, we're going to start to get light in that left foot. So maybe you just start off coming onto the left toes. And now we're going to lift the left toes off the mat and start to send the left toes to the back of your space, finding your twisted lunge. Start to come up, taking your left hand forward, right hand back. I know that your right leg is saying things to you, but fire up your breath. Soften through your shoulders. Feel that balance of firmness and ease. Inhale, come back to your high lunge. Exhale, bring your hands down to frame your front foot. Step your right toes back to meet your left. Move through your vinyasa or skip it. We're going to meet in downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale, let it out through your mouth. One more time like that. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Exhale it out through your mouth. Good. On an inhale, sweep that left leg up and back behind you. Bend your knees, stack your hips here, opening up. Keep pressing evenly through both palms. Maybe bringing your gaze underneath that left armpit, rolling out the right ankle, drawing circles with the left knee. And then we'll square the hips and step that left foot up in between your left hand, in between your hands rather. Spin your right heel down, preparing for your warrior two stance. So your right toes are pointing in. You're going to bend into that left knee. And when you're ready, open it out, spiraling open, right hand towards the back of your mat, left hand towards the top of your mat. Now take a moment, look down at your feet, make sure they are where you think they are. Maybe take up space here. You're thinking one long line of energy from that front heel to the back arch, and you're bending generously into that left knee. Softening through your shoulders, bring the gaze over the left fingertips. Flip your front palm up, exhale, reverse warrior, tipping it back. Right hand to the back of your right leg, or maybe wrap it around your low back for the half bind. Breathing into your left side body. Inhale, come back to your warrior two. Exhale, find your side angle pose. Left forearm to your left thigh, right hand up toward the ceiling or over the ear towards the front of the room. Keep that bend, keep that engagement. Fire up your breath. Inhale, come back to your warrior two pose. As you exhale, windmill your hands down to frame your front foot, spinning onto those back toes. Step your right foot up to meet your left, finding your forward fold. Take a moment to pause, find your breath. Slowly bend into your knees, prepare for your chair pose. When you're ready, inhale, peel your torso up. Exhale, sink your seat and gather your hands together in front of your heart center. Now, just like on the other side, you have an option to stay lifted, to bring that right elbow in between your knees, or to bring that right elbow on the outside of your left knee. And if you've got contact with elbows and knees, think about opening your torso towards your thumbs. Make sure your knees are in line with each other. Sink your seat a little bit lower. Breathing here. Now bring the weight of the body into the left foot. Get light in the right toes and start to send your right toes towards the back of your space. And if you've got to tap down, tap down. Take yourself 2% less seriously here. From here, we're going to lift up and open it out. Right hand forward, left hand back, finding the twist. Take an inhale here. Full exhale here. Inhale, come back to your high lunge pose. As you exhale, bring your hands down to frame your front foot. Send your left toes back to meet your right and flow or skip it. We're going to meet in downward facing dog. Take 3 rounds of breath here in your downward facing dog. After your 3rd round, or whenever you're ready, we're going to meet in child's pose. And if you prefer to stay kneeling, you can stay kneeling instead. We're just going to close the eyes down or soften the gaze downward and start to come back into our bodies and back to our intention of finding the balance with effort and ease, strength and softness. If you're in your child's pose, we'll meet in that kneeling position, or if kneeling doesn't serve you, you can come to a cross-legged seat. And we'll just pause here by placing the hands on top of the heart so that you can feel your heartbeat in your chest, so that you can feel that effort, but at the same time, you can feel your breath moving through you, coming into that concept of ease. Deep, full inhales, deep, full exhales. Slowly blink open your eyes, lift your gaze, release your hands down by your sides, and we're going to do one last little bit of work. And so we'll come up to stand, so however you'd like to, nothing fancy, take your time, move gently, move slowly. If you're lightheaded at all, tuck your chin in when you reach your standing position. This is going to help kind of regulate your pulse and your blood flow. Take a moment for things to acclimate, and we're going to work with balance here. You'll come to your left foot, your right toes will get light, and we're going to work with tree pose. So your right toes can be a kickstand here, still making contact with the ground. Your right foot can come on the inner calf, or you can help your right foot up to your inner left thigh. Stopping wherever feels right for you, noticing if you're pushing your body to look or create a certain shape. and seeing if you can soften away from that effort. Bring your hands together in front of your heart center. Lengthen up through your spine. You can choose to stay here with your gaze fixed on something on the floor or the wall in front of you that's not going to move, or you can start to grow your tree, reaching your limbs out into opposite directions toward the ceiling. Maybe it's higher up, maybe it's a V shape so that you can find some softness in the shoulders. Firm up your left leg towards your right foot. Draw your navel in, find your breath. We'll slowly bring the hands together in front of the heart center. Release the work. Shake out that left leg. Crack the toes. And we'll come to the second side. So weight of the body is going to come into that right foot. Your left toes can be a kickstand. Maybe come into the inner calf. Maybe help the left foot up to the inner thigh on the right leg. But you're not stopping at the knee. And if you fall, maybe crack a smile, take yourself 2% less seriously, and try again. Each side is different. Each day is different. Our body is different moment to moment. Embracing that change with a smile. Bring your hands together in front of your heart center and fix your gaze on something that's not going to move on the floor or the wall in front of you. You can start to grow your tree, reaching your limbs out in opposite directions, softening through your shoulders, firming up through your core, noticing the wobbles and the shakes, knowing that they're not a sign of your weakness, but a sign of your strength, a sign of your muscles rebuilding in stronger ways. Find your breath. We'll bring the hands together in front of the heart center and slowly release the pose, shaking out through that right ankle, the right leg. And we'll turn to face the top of the mat. Inhale, sweep your hands up toward the ceiling. Exhale, fold it forward, finding your forward fold. Inhale to lift up halfway, long spine. Exhale to fold. We're going to separate the feet all the way out to the edges of your mat. Heels pointing in, toes pointing out. And we'll sink the seat, finding Malasana or Yogi squat. And we're just going to stay here for 2 to 3 rounds of breath. So if you need to be more lifted, you can, or if you can come lower, you can come lower. You can always slide a pillow or a block underneath your seat. Press your elbows in towards your knees. Find your sternum reaching up towards your thumbs here for 1 more round of breath. And we'll just come to sit. And you'll stretch your legs out long, feet towards the top edge of your mat. Flex your toes towards your shin. As you inhale, sweep your hands up toward the ceiling. Exhale, fold forward any amount. Maybe your hands feel comfortable stopping at your calves. Maybe they can reach towards your ankles. Maybe they can reach your toes. But noticing if you're forcing, pushing, pulling, and again, finding that ease to balance with that effort. On an inhale, walk your hands up your legs. And I'm going to turn and face you. We'll bring the soles of the feet together, knees apart. Inhale to lengthen up through your spine. Exhale to lead forward with your heart, staying lifted here. And you might bring your hands towards the soles of your feet and give your feet a little bit of a massage. So we're working through the hips, through the spine, but we're bringing some ease into the feet, that balance. Holding space for 2 sensations, 2 emotions at the same time. Inhale, come up. Bring the feet together, knees together, and we'll come to lay down on the back. We'll draw the knees in towards the chest. You can rock here from side to side. And then we're going to cross that right leg over the left. And maybe you stay here. This is plenty. You can grab hold of the backs of your thighs. Or maybe your left hand can find your left ankle. Maybe your right hand can find your right ankle as you start to draw your knees in closer. And this is going to start to turn on a sensation of stretch or just any sensation here in the right hip. Soften your shoulders, head, and neck, but flex your toes towards your shins to protect your knee. Maybe close the eyes down or soften the gaze a little bit here. And we'll release that, bringing the soles of the feet down onto the mat. Pausing here for a moment in neutral before drawing your knees in towards your chest and crossing that the left leg over your right leg. We'll bring that right hand to the right ankle. Maybe left hand can find the left ankle, and you'll start to draw your legs towards your torso, flexing your toes towards your shin. Thinking about lengthening your tailbone towards the ground, so your long spine here. Your shoulders are soft. Your jaw is soft. Maybe you separate the back teeth and wiggle the jaw here. And we'll slowly release that work, uncrossing the legs. And we'll just start to gently windshield wiper the knees here from side to side. And when I say gently, I mean this movement is really subtle. It's really soft and slow. Just allowing the low back to come to a neutral position. And we'll allow the knees to fall over towards the left, making this twist as gentle or as active as you need. Hands can stay on the body, or maybe you take up space, reaching your arms out in opposite directions. Breathing here, maybe closing the eyes down if you haven't already, giving yourself permission to rest. And imagining you're releasing any toxins here in this twist. Anything that no longer serves you is being released out. And come back through center. And switch it to the other side, allowing your knees to gently fall over towards the right. Again, you can take up space here. You can keep your hands on your body, whatever serves you. Asking yourself if there's another space where you can soften, another part of your body that you can release. Imagining that you're a towel here being wrung out. Anything that's weighing you down or that you no longer need is being twisted out, released out. And we'll come back through center to come to our final pose, Shavasana. And you can take a few options here for your Shavasana, your resting pose. You can take the soles of your feet towards the edges of your mat and allow your knees to knock in towards each other. You can take your feet out long, legs long, or you can bring the soles of your feet together, knees apart, to stretch more into the hips. So I'm going to come into that knees together, feet wide position, because this is really nice for the low back. And I invite you to place your hands on your torso somewhere, maybe in that space below your navel. And then just close the eyes down if they aren't closed already, or shift your gaze up to a spot on your ceiling, then just soften your gaze around that spot. Take a deep inhale through your nose and exhale it out through your mouth. Letting your breath come back to a natural pace and quality. All of the effort, the physical effort, is done in our practice. So doing a gentle scan of the body and releasing any work that you no longer need. Acknowledging that there is no work you need to be doing physically. Shavasana is one of the more difficult postures in our yoga practice, not just because of any physical demands, but mostly because of the mental effort that's required. The mental effort to release the urge to do or move, and to take the seat of observation. So knowing that difficulty, where can you soften? Where can you find some ease to balance that work? Just as we did when we were moving on our mat. Perhaps imagining your thoughts are flowing through a river might help. So, not holding on to any one thought, just letting that thought float away and making way for the next thought and the next thought. We'll just rest here for a few moments, observing the breath and the mind. Good. You can slowly start to deepen your breath here, bringing yourself back to the space, back to your mat. And I invite you to stay here in stillness, breathing here for as long as you need to. In that seat of observation, giving yourself permission and observing when your body and mind are ready to move on with the rest of your day. And if you're ready to move on with the rest of your day, you can start to bring gentle movements back, wiggling fingers and toes, rolling ankles and wrists. Otherwise, just continue to stay here and breathe. And we'll part ways here. And so I invite you to truly treasure this ease part of your practice. And we'll meet next time. Take care.